Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Transport Fever 2. This is episode number 4. Right now, we're in the midst of bringing our first trainload of tools into Dallas. And it's not a moment's too soon because we are really struggling in funding currently. Our other line is now profitable. This line has not completed a load yet. So we are starting to move goods back and forth well on that line. This line, hopefully this will bring in some money for us. But here's the thing, as we head into Dallas, and I need to pause this now before we get to the stage. Actually, I don't have any money to do anything. So we have to hope that some of this is going to be available. Where do you reach? You reach to here. Hopefully that's enough to claim 33. And we don't just head back with some of what's on board. What we need in Dallas is tools. And let's go back and look at that again. So, Dallas's need for tools. Come on, can you show me without... I'm going to go to the map. Apparently not. Cargo layer? There it is. So, you can see this whole front end is connected to the railway station directly, which is about half of what we need, which is maybe 35. So hopefully that'll work out for us. We'll find out here shortly. Where's our train? There's our train. Oh no, don't take out the wildlife. We got out of the way just in time. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Okay. Well, that's fine. He's all loaded up with tools, and just one empty boxcar there. I could follow the train directly. I suppose we could do that like this. Ta-da. That's so cool. Simple bridge through here. Eventually we're going to need to do something differently with these bridges if we are going to have sea cargo, if we're going to be using the boats to move cargo and passengers that way at some point. We might not with this map. It's entirely possible we won't. We'll take a look and see. Trains do seem the better way to go without this being islands. Let's see what kind of money rolls in here, because we definitely need some if we're going to get away from this negative balance. And this is 100% down to setting these trains up and nothing more. I've also got to figure out whether I have any loan money left. I actually think I do. I don't think I maxed it out, did I? I might have. 240,000, and we do have a positive balance. That's important. Okay, and away they go. Now, that... let's see. Did you take all of it at once? That says 12. Is that a current load? This will help with the passenger movement as well. Let's see where we're at. Did I use every loan? Oh, I most certainly did. So hopefully we can begin to turn a profit. You can see right now, currently, is profitable. But we've been spending, and no investments for a while. We made the investments a while ago, but we were in the negative as we got it running, as we got it operating. The railroad negative. There's our first positive. Now, this was where we started. That's the running costs with no income. This was running costs with partial income being from the other train. And then that's still that one. And now that we've had a load with both, we're still early in this sequence too. Hopefully we can finally start seeing these numbers going up. It's that loan interest, that's a lot. It's a lot to overcome. So we're going to speed things up for a little bit and hope that I did this correctly and that there's enough money out here. Looks like you've got lumber. The first thing I want to do as soon as we have a little bit of money is I want to start expanding this train. Adding a couple more because we're far from the capacity, so there's a lot more we could be doing with this one to get more cars on. Let's see, we do have ready, and it does look like I got it set up right where they will not interfere with each other coming through. Here's the train coming. So I have not yet had a situation where they come face to face with one another. It does seem that if you're here coming this way, you would recognize that there's a train ahead of you and wait for them to clear out before you go, and they do go the opposite direction, so it does work. There's our one train about to go pick up another load of wood. And here comes this one in to pick up another load of tools. And we'll see. This is going to bring them out at a similar time. At the moment, the balance not looking so good. Not looking so good. No, it's not. Could it be that I bit off more than I could chew? We'll find out soon enough. It looks like we've got a full train, both of them full trains, and you see how they're both headed same direction. There is a train signal that I set up. This train's going to come to a stop. Let this one go by. Yep, there you go. And it's important that I stop that one just because of the way the lines work. And I did get it set up correctly. So this one's going to get out of the way. Once he clears the line, then that one will go through. Balance should go a bit better there, and it does. And we fill up coming back the other way. And with the other train, which is here, when both of them get to their destinations for the tools drop off and the Dallas cargo, I should change the name on that one. Dallas branch does not. Dallas Cargo Terminal. There we go. As soon as those two trains both arrive, we'll be collecting a pretty good chunk of money. There's train 1. There's train 2. Okay, train 1 approaching. And train 2 approaching. Come on, get us a positive balance. Let me see you work your magic. There's one. Oh, the other one didn't collect. Are you heading back full still? No, you emptied. We just didn't get to a positive balance. Now, we do have a vehicle exchange, but does that reach to here? To the cargo terminal? because half the town's not getting tools yet. You're not loading up. So far it's all going out. Change that over time. We didn't quite get back to that positive balance just yet, so it's tricky. But it's showing on here that it is. So to me, what that suggests is the problem is the loan interest. And we did make a positive balance in that last run. So it will happen. We will recover. We're just not back into the good yet. But if we're making $171,000 per year, quote unquote, we'll get back to a positive balance at the end of this year. Within a couple years, we'll be able to repay some of the loan, and that's going to be where we start turning profit. But also, once we get back into that positive balance before the end of the year, if this is the rate, right, if it's consistent going forward, and Railroad slightly positive on the balance, we could start adding in a couple cargo here. This train does not have enough, but I need a positive balance to be able to buy more. And then that one, that's easy. It has one unused as it is right now. So their sequence is pretty close to each other. It's making 33, and this one could take an additional. Last time it had 34, so it's 33, 34 of 42 possible. So we have one empty boxcar that we're running. This one, meanwhile, and see how they're coming together at the exact same time. So they're in the same sequence every time. So it's taking about the same amount of time to run these two routes. So to get 7 more there, we need a couple additional here, because that's going to be another 14. So if we could add 2 more, we could fill out that and increase the money we're bringing in without any new massive expenses of any kind other than the two cars that we need. So if we were to replace, right? If we were to replace it with one of these, and we had 7 flat cars. Oh no, we had 10. Here's what it's going to take to do it. To add 2 more, we have to replace the vehicle that's now used and the flat cars that are now used. And that's going to cost us $1 million. Ouch. So adding to it is expensive, unless we were to head all the way back to the train depot. And then heading back to the train depot, we could add 2 cars to it. But again, that's going to take up positive balance. But let's see, this time, here come the trains. So they should be both finishing things up here pretty soon. Yeah, you're heading into the tools right now. So is the balance better off or worse off this time? It's better. It's better than it was. Still negative, but it's better than it was. So yes, we are making a positive balance. You're not lying to us, game. You are not lying to us. 239,000. It's pretty good. This one, though, barely profitable at the moment. And then looking up and down the board, everybody else is doing a decent job. We've got to figure out, though, we've got to start replacing vehicles on lines. A lot of the vehicles have aged out. Earnings are going the right direction, at least. It's just real difficult to set it up. That cost us, let's see, 6.5 million that we borrowed plus we had 2 million. So that cost us about 8.5 million to set up. That's really rough. That is really rough. Trains are not cheap. Trains are not cheap at all, but they can set up correctly, maximize. They can bring in incredible profits. Right now we're just not there yet. We've also now got the baseline, right? We have train all the way. We've got a bridge over here, so we could run train to Columbia. We could run a train down this way, and we could run our train line, of course, this way. So we've got the basis now to go additional directions from what we're doing currently. What we need, though, is we need to climb out of this hole. And that's going to take a little time. These guys are already heading back in. What have you got right now? Ooh, you only have 24 this time? Is that demand? That's got to be demand. That's got to be related to demand, which is here. And this Dallas cargo terminal. Just remember, we only link up this far, and all of this part of Dallas is not getting the tools they need. I need additional truck. Ooh, this does reach here. Yes, it does. Oh, it does. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, we can add another stop in here and then use it to make a line through here to distribute the others. But again, gotta have a profit, gotta have a running profit, and we don't have that. Balance is negative and looks like it's getting worse at the moment. Maybe we sell this train, but if we sell this train, then it's not going to produce any tools. Is that a big deal? Will it work? Will it store? Because the consumption part's down. You can see the numbers dropping. Because the consumer is dropping. As in, is the train full? Not completely. So now that big question is, have I made my first serious mistake that we're not going to be able to overcome? Is there just way too much money tied into this and not enough income? I mean, it says that it's profitable. This part's hurting us, though. And everybody else is doing okay. Right? That should be a positive balance. But again, back to the real problem here is the loan interest, the extra 100,000. We're not making that up. Last two sequences were negative again, so positive, negative, barely going the right direction, and then negative, positive, not going the right direction. That was setting up the trains. Yeah, and that was 8.5 million that we spent. And since then, this is how we're looking. We've only turned a profit a couple times, and we've had slight negatives the others. So we went from steady Eddie, not much coming in, but doing better than what we were spending. And now we're having some problems. I am not sure we're going to be able to emerge out of this one, because this was supposed to be our profitable one, and it wasn't. Yep, you won't let me repay. I have nothing to repay. If I could repay and not have the interest and just have the negative balance and pay that off, we'd be okay. The 100,000 is the difference. 100,000 every year. Took too much. The elevation changes, the tunnels cost a lot. That cost us at least 2 to 3 million making our way through this area. And then you don't get as many trips done with the distance we're having to cover. And the elevation changes, getting down to 9 kilometers an hour. You add all that together, and it's just enough that we're losing out. If we hadn't borrowed 6.5 million to make it happen, if it was only 1 or 2 million that we had borrowed, we might be okay. It's like we were so close to this balancing out. So it's not like it was epic failure. Oh man, we suck. But I just don't think we're turning enough profit now. Especially this one in the barely break even. You look at the numbers, and that should be more than $1 million profit. But for whatever reason, that's spread out over time. I don't know if that's a 4-year window or what, but there you go. You can see that every one is that little bit negative. Little bit. Too much. We can no longer turn a profit. Trying to think what else I could do here to resolve this, and I don't think there is anything I could do. So my first go has officially become a failure. Only took 4 episodes, but I knew it was bound to happen. A, I'm not playing on easy. B, I knew that there was a very delicate balance in this game. Very delicate balance. On the road, we're good. We're profitable. But on this railroad, let's see, we're just not bringing in enough. The tickets, the sold cargo is good, but the maintenance, oh my goodness, it's way too high. Track maintenance infrastructure, that is what's costing us to where it's a negative balance. Look at that, it's a negative balance. We're not making a profit with what we have on these trains. So that's 250,000 we're taking away. And I think we'd be making roughly this. I don't think that's going to be enough. We'll see. Looks like it's taking more than a year, because the year is just about done and we're just now heading back to the lumber mill. There you go, the year is done. So we made it to 2 destinations and not all 3. No wonder we're running a negative balance. It's just taking forever. We ended up with a negative 400,000 balance. But this year, right, should be largely profitable, as we just collected a whole bunch of money to start, and we're about to go get another 100,000. But how does that balance out over the stretch of every time we complete the route? Are we making a profit or aren't we? Well, and there you go. There's the end of the year. So again, you combine the 3-year stretch, and it's still not only a negative balance, but it's quite negative. It's quite negative. Now, if you took away the 100,000 each year, 300,000 total, subtract that out. Take out the loan interest. And then we're looking at a profit. The loan interest is what's burying us. Okay, well, I tried. I tried really hard to make it work. It's not going to work. I'm not used to this in games. I really do figure them out sooner rather than later, and I knew that getting into trains was going to be tricky, and I wanted to wait a while. That's why I didn't do anything on the farm initially. This was too ambitious of a project, too spread out, too much construction, too far to travel for the respective trains to complete their loads and combine together to turn some sort of profit. Even if we find ourselves with another profitable year, which I think we will, we're looking again roughly 140,000, give or take, as the profit. I think we're still hurting. Maybe it's a 4-year sequence, right? So we're looking at 280, about 300, but then minus 400,000 in that 1 year in between. Still means that over a 4-year stretch, we're minus 100,000. It's minus 25,000 a year, where you can't take out any additional loans, and the condition of the vehicles get worse and worse and slower. Profits getting smaller on the I don't know. Profits on the road were up this last year again. Stop fooling me, game. Stop fooling me. You're messing with my head. Well, anyway, I just keep holding out hope, but I don't think there's any point in doing so. Put a fork in it. It's done. It's done. We're so close to a positive balance, but it's not happening. It is slowly going the wrong direction, and it will continue to do so. We're nearly to the end of the year. So that sequence, it's a little bit longer than a year to get through. If we could get through this cycle in just under a year, then we'd turn a profit each and every year. But because it's the opposite, it's the one that doesn't, it's the year that doesn't make it through, that makes us in overall negative balance. Okay, well, we're going to go back to the drawing board. We're going to move to the desert, beginning with the next episode. We did manage to collect a number of achievements right off the bat in this first learning run. Got maybe 7 or 8, so that's not bad. We're going to go at it again, though. Obviously, there's a lot to learn, a lot to get through. That's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Don't worry about leaving a like this time because, well, definitely haven't earned it. If you want to leave an F in the comments, feel free. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.